Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. My name is Ashley and clearly I'm a Cricut crafter. Today I have compiled 5 of my greatest Cricut hacks that are going to change your Cricut crafting experience. When it comes to Cricut crafting, if you're a beginner, sometimes it can get a little frustrating. So today I have 5 Cricut hacks for you that is going to change your life and make your Cricut crafting experience so much better. Let's get started. The very first hack that I want to get into is something so very important. For me, I've been a Cricut user for 12 years, and I've always said that a brand new mat is my worst enemy. These things right here are so sticky. And most of the time when you try and peel off your material off of a brand new mat, your material sticks to the mat. So instead, what I like to do is take my brand new mat and the material that I'm using. This right here is my shed-free glitter cardstock found in my cardstock warehouse. And I'm just going to lightly put this on my Cricut mat. Now you're gonna notice that this is stuck on there, right? Let's just say that I were to put this into my Cricut machine and cut it. Now, most of the time, what people are going to want to do is take your mat, put it down onto your table, and take your material and pull it away from the mat. This is where we start to have issues, because if your mat is too sticky, what happens is your material gets stuck to your mat and then it looks gross. So in order to avoid all of that, what I always like to do is take my mats and turn them upside down. I would like to note here that the following step, you don't need to go crazy on this. I have heard girls break their Cricut mats because they went too hard, but all you want to do is take the corner of your mat, and we want to put our finger on our material, and we want to roll the mat away from our material, leaving our material nice and flat, in perfect condition, and there's no leftover residue on our mat. And remember what I said about girls breaking their mat? Sometimes people like to bend your mat. We don't have to go crazy, just a nice little roll away from our material, keeping our hand on the material, and we'll release the material from our mat. That is absolutely my #1 hack that everyone needs to start doing now. Now, I do have to tell you, it's very rare for me to actually use a brand new Cricut mat. Remember what I said? Brand new Cricut mats are my worst enemy. So what I always like to do is do my resticking hack. Now, there's 2 ways to restick your mat. One is with the zigzag 2-way glue. I can tell you right now, this is not my favorite method, but we'll get into that here in a second. The second one is going to be this spray right here. Mind you, all the supplies that I'm going to be using today are all going to be linked in the description of this video. Now, this spray right here should just be rebranded to Mat Resticking Spray, because this is my tried and true method. So first, let's get into the zigzag glue. We're going to take a dusty, crusty, old Cricut mat. This thing right here is dirty. What we're going to do is taking this zigzag glue, you're just going to take the top off the glue, and we are just going to draw onto our Cricut mat. You're going to want to cover your Cricut mat with all the glue. That being said, you want to make sure that none of the glue goes onto the sides of your mat, because this right here will gum up your Cricuts. If it gums up your Cricuts, then your Cricuts are no good for you. So you want to make sure and stay away from the sides of your Cricut mat. The reason why this is not my favorite method is you have to wait for this glue to dry. If there's anything that you need to know about me, it's that I am not patient. So I do not like waiting for things to dry. This is a very good option. I just don't really care to wait for things to dry. You'll know that the glue is dry when everything is fully clear and no longer blue. Now, my tried and true method is this spray, which remember should be rebranded to just Mat Resticking Spray. How I use this spray is taking some more of my shed-free glitter cardstock, and I like to take my spray and just mist my paper. Very light. You don't want a whole lot of this spray onto your piece of paper. Now, I always tell people when they are using this spray, if there is residue on your paper, then you have used too much. Little spray goes a long way. And let's do a timeout here, because this spray also works on vinyl and HTV. Although I'm showing it to you on my shed-free glitter cardstock, you can use this on any material. There should be zero residue left over because remember, a little goes a long way. When you've sprayed your material, then all I do is take another dirty Cricut mat and I put it onto my mat. Now, generally I would have a brayer and I would brayer this down so it's nice and stuck on there. But you know what? Just for fun, I'm gonna turn this over and look, this dirty, crusty Cricut mat is still holding my material because of that spray. Now, the beauty of this spray is that it's not as tacky, so it's not going to leave any type of residue on anything. Remember, a little goes a long way. So when we do that, we're gonna be able to pull this right off and we're not gonna have any residue on our pieces of paper or vinyl or HTV because we didn't use a whole lot. Now, this right here is definitely my go-to, and I just would like to note that one can lasts me like 3 or 4 months. So if you are using your can and it's going very quickly, that means again, you've used too much. I just wanna make sure that you know that a little bit goes a long way with this stuff. My next little hack here is picking up this universal pen adapter. I think this thing is like $10, and honestly, it is worth every single penny. So with all of the Cricuts, you're able to use a pen or a marker with your Cricuts. Now, when you get your Cricut out of the box, the way that it sits is that you can only use Cricut branded pens. Now, I don't technically love Cricut branded pens because there's not a lot of options and they're quite expensive. That being said, if you get something like this, you're gonna be able to use any type of pen that'll fit into the housing. Let me show you how to install this in one of your Cricuts. So I'm gonna install it on my Cricut Explorer Air 2, and all you want to do is open this all up, and what you wanna do is come to the clamp A side, and we are just gonna open it up. Now in your clamp A, there's going to be this little housing, and it's technically stuck, but if you place your hand underneath the housing, you're gonna be able to squeeze in these little trigger buttons or tabs, and then you'll be able to pull up on the housing, releasing the housing. So this right here, we can just put inside this cup for right now. Then what you want to do is taking your pen adapter tool, and all you need to do, mine came with 2. You just need to pull out one of them, and you just wanna slip it into the housing. Now, all you need to do, because it's not going to be a snug fit, is you just wanna close clamp A into your machine. Now what you can do is taking a really thin pen, we can just put that into our new pen adapter tool, and we can tighten up the dial until it's nice and tight in our Cricut. When we do that and it's nice and tight, now our pen is stuck into our machine. Now let's say you're done with your pen and you wanna use a different pen. All you need to do is unscrew that dial, and we can put in a calligraphy pen. Doing the same thing, all you want to do is just turn the dial, making it tight, and now our calligraphy pen is stuck into our machine. Now I would like to note here that you can't use all pens. Most, but not all. The reason why I say not all is because there is a girth on this pen adapter tool. You can go as big as this hole. So if your pen fits inside the hole, it's good to go. But if it's too big for the hole, it ain't fitting and it's not gonna fit in your machine. So while it does way more than just the regular pen tool for your Cricut, it won't do all your pens. But honestly, you're probably not wanting to use a big fat marker inside your Cricut. Now let me take you over to the computer where I'm gonna show you a free design software. This software I have used for 12 years, and honestly, it's where I make all of my SVG files for free. This right here is a free design program called Inkscape. I absolutely love this program. I actually designed this happy birthday card all within this free program. Now, if you are a beginner to Inkscape, I have a lot of videos on my channel about how to create your own SVG files within Inkscape and also how to upload that into Cricut Design Space. Now, if you do not want to learn how to create your own SVG files, I will link in the description of the video my most favorite website to go and grab SVG files for super cheap. Now for my last and final hack, and that is to use high quality material. Now you'll remember earlier in this video, I mentioned that I sell zero shedding glitter cardstock, and honestly, it is the best of the best. That being said, I have picked up some black glitter cardstock from a craft store, and I can tell you right now that if I said earlier that Cricut Mat's my worst enemy, shedding glitter cardstock is even worse. So just giving this a nice little rub, you will see on my fingers that they are nasty, glittery, and gross. Yuck. Not only is it going to be on my fingers, it's going to be everywhere. On my Cricut, on my mats, gunking my mats up, shedding all over my cardstock projects. This is nasty. Instead, what you want to do is buy some of my zero shedding glitter cardstock. This right here is my Cinderella blue and my bubblegum pink. And these colors right here are one of the best selling colors in my shop. That being said, no matter what you do, this cardstock sheds zero, nothing. You'll never get anything off of this. The other great thing is that this stuff right here cuts like butter, and the details that you could get with this is amazing. Now, obviously, this isn't going to just be for cardstock. You also want to look into your other materials that you're going to be using, like glue or vinyl or HTV. Quality matters when it comes to using your supplies. Now, here at the Craft Castle, I love making projects that are budget friendly but look like $1,000,000. However, there is one thing that you need to know about all of my projects is that I will never sacrifice quality for our crafts. So I do strongly suggest that no matter where you go for your supplies, that you're always looking for the best quality supplies at an affordable rate. The good thing about my glitter cardstock is it is the best of the best, but it's the cheapest around. All right, y'all, those are my 5 tried and true Cricut hacks that make Cricut crafting less frustrating. Do you have any other Cricut hacks that I missed? Let me know in the comments of this video, and I'll see you on the next one.